on fire. Let's get higher. Put a little bit of shit, put a little bit of shit, put a little bit of shit. I'ma make it burn, I'ma make it burn, I'ma make it burn, I'ma make it burn, I'ma make it burn,
And we are live. Salutes for the thumbnail. 07's in the chat. Man, 12 people in the waiting room. That's the biggest waiting room we've ever had so far. And for the face reveal, for the semi-face reveal. Ooh. Oh, yeah, we're going in tonight. Thank you for tuning in. You're watching the Barracks live, whether you're on YouTube or on X.com. It's your non-Euclidean network for a multipolar world, bringing you the news, bringing you the theory, bringing you just the ultimate octagon cage match between us and the enemies of Stalinism in the United States. The wreckers, the libertarian and rightist hucksters, the leftist ultras, the freaks, the degenerates tremble when they enter the barracks. Welcome. And to my left, as always, you know him, you love him. For the first time, you see him. Your friendly neighborhood milkman. How you doing, Milk?
Yeah, see him kind of. Tonight we're bringing you a cold splash of water to the face because there's an org launching shit soon, and there are some tendencies right now among the guerrillas that we're here to call out because this shit cannot stand. It's easy when you're online, right? It's easy when you're just posting and you're commentating and you're pretending the streamer's your friend. But once you're out there in the shit, once you're actually politically organizing, we can't be fucking around like this. So the org's dropping soon. We got a wake-up call. We got some cold water to the face. That's what this stream's about. A lot of people getting mad about the thumbnail.
Good.
You should have seen the ones that we rejected. That's all. That's all I'll say about that. Anyway, we're gonna get into it. Yeah, I got a lot to say tonight. All right, the milk's gone bad. The milk's gone bad.
We have a lot to say tonight. Before and it all stays on this stream because after this stream, you know, we've made our case. You know, we know how to go viral. We don't need to be farming some on the out ankle biter for views. You know, we know how to go viral. So what we got to say, we say in this stream, and it stays here. So we'll make our case in how to begin. How else to begin but with a declaration of war? You know, let me get it pulled up here. Yeah. So let me set them. All right. I'll bring back Milkman in a second. But we gotta. All right, let's set the mood here. Can you feel it? The rising tide. Something stirs in the population. Something vicious and unstoppable. You aren't ready for the storm. Yes. Yes. All right. Welcome back. Welcome back. Just had to get that off my chest. You know, a little orchestral music to get you into a warlike state of mind. Well, we're gonna get into it, folks. So we to announce this stream, we posted a list of criticisms against the one Caleb Maupin, the Trotskyite, red-headed abomination, the victim of fetal alcohol syndrome, Caleb Maupin. We'll be going through a list of these criticisms as they have gone so far, not just to affect the infrared community as a whole, and Jackson Hinkle in particular, but this shot that he's taken has gone so far as to split the Barracks. One of our founding members, the Yankee Tanky, has gone into permanent retirement over this attack started by Caleb Maupin. And we cannot let this go unanswered. This is personal now. So this is the tweet that we put out with a list of critics, and not even touching the Medium article. We will try our best not to go into the Medium article and laying out even his moral and personal failings, his deviant sex life. I'm going to try not to go into that stuff because, frankly, I didn't read the Medium article, and from what I hear, I don't need that kind of mental image when I close my eyes at night. So we're going to keep it professional as best we can. But to go into it, for those of you who aren't aware, on September the 18th, this past Monday, out of nowhere, CPI Director Caleb Maupin launched an unprovoked attack against Jackson Hinkle, one of the top 100 Twitter accounts in the world. #1 MAGA Communist. Fired off some shots, made some veiled accusations. Conveniently, while Mr. Hinkle is in Russia, away on business, and for his birthday, business and vacation, where
Wait, Tarek. Sorry, my mic was muted. But before we get started, I want to make a couple disclaimers. First of all, this is, if you got, we're going to get into it right now. By the way, I'm not promising to not touch the Medium article at all. There's no way I'm making that promise. But before we get into this, I just want to say, this is our shit, all right? And I don't want anyone going to Haas or going to Jackson and being like, yo, your guy, like, okay, Jackson hasn't responded to it. But he's probably not going to. I wouldn't if I was him. Haas has very graciously, in my opinion, told his Discord to cut off the attacks. But I've been seeing some shit, which is that the opposite has happened, which is that there's been this whole slew of people who have been running out in defense. And we've got to talk about this, all right? Because what are you doing? I mean, Matt Taibbi, 1.8 million followers, award-winning journalist. He's getting attacked right now by Stacey Plaskett. She's going to throw him in jail for putting on the Twitter files. But we go whole hog on him. It's no problem, right? Nobody says a peep. This is the hill you're going to die on? This guy? All right. I mean, we're going to get into it, but I'm just saying, if you got a problem with all the shit we're about to say tonight, which I know people do because just the thumbnail has all these fucking people in a rage, bring it up with us, okay? Because this is us saying this. We don't represent Haas. We don't represent Jackson. We aren't communicating with them. We're only aligned with them ideologically, okay? But me and Teray felt the need to make this stream because of the shit we were seeing and the fact that this organization is about to launch and it's unacceptable. Second disclaimer, I know it's going to seem to a lot of people like we're attacking Yankee. We're not attacking Yankee. Yankee has this is personal for him, all right? He's got reasons to be taking the positions he does. Well, we're coming at these fucking gorillas, these baby gorillas, little cackling howler monkeys in our replies who have been attacking Haas for the last couple of days and attacking us saying like, oh, this is infighting. We need leftist unity. This is too far. That's who we're coming for right now, okay? Because this mindset, we're going to get into it. This mindset needs to be squashed if we're actually going to launch an organization here because it's goddamn ridiculous. I mean, I could keep talking. I don't know if you want to go back to the post, but.
Oh no, I'm in agreement. Like, to the people who said that making this post was the biggest mistake of our lives of this professional channel. We have so far gained 20 Twitter followers. The post is only getting
No. It's not about the clout. It's not about the clout. Let me tell you something.
No, I mean, how many people are in agreement, but they're too afraid to make the struggle. And how this minority of CPI adjacent apologists, weirdos, and fringe accounts are holding everyone back.
It's not just fringe accounts though. I've seen it from a lot of people, and I'm telling you, go check out Caleb's video that he made about Jackson. Go look at the fucking comments. See how many CPI people are telling him about fucking leftist unity and about no infighting. That's not what they're saying. They're calling Jackson a transphobe and a frat boy and a dumbass. Nobody's talking to him about infighting. It's only going to one direction. So you always got to think about that. But the other thing I want to say is that this fucking infighting shit, okay, where we're like, oh, there can't be any infighting. This has nothing to do with the Marxist tradition, okay? This has nothing to do with Marxism. If you motherfuckers have been reading theory, like I told you, you'd know that the majority of this theory that Marx, Engels, and Lenin wrote was polemics against other socialists, okay? There has never been a no infighting rule it's quite the contrary, okay? Marxist ideas are forged in fire, all right? And you know where this left unity fucking no infighting shit comes from? It comes from the fucking Democrats. This is a Democrat psyop that they whip out every election cycle. They say, oh, we got to have left unity. Oh, we can't have any infighting. When you hear no infighting, you think vote for Biden, because that's where this shit comes from. It comes from the fucking DNC, so they can rally all these like polycule sex cults like the PSL and shit to come and campaign for Biden. That's where this shit comes from, okay? The only thing that's close to this no infighting rule that comes from Marxism is that if you're in a party and you have democratic centralism, you have a party line, right? But first of all, there is fierce debate over this party line within the party. And second of all, I'm not in the fucking CPI. Haas isn't in the CPI. None of us are in the CPI. So we don't have a party line, okay? So when this, I'm going to call out errors when I see them, and I see a lot of fucking errors. We're going to get into that. This is not a Marxist thing, okay? Yeah, you think the Bolsheviks had left unity. Exactly, they didn't. They won over the other people who are calling themselves socialists. So I'm sick of this shit. Listen, guys, here's how it works. We're launching an org. You need to understand this. You trust your enemies more than your allies, because your enemies are never going to betray you. Every enemy is a potential ally, and every ally is a potential enemy. Launching an org means going into war. So this is how you need to be thinking. And if you have this dumbass NPC Harry Potter brain where you're like, oh, there's the Gryffindors and the Slytherins, and we got to fight the Slytherins and we got to protect the Gryffindors, it's over. The org is not going to succeed because that's not how the world works, all right? The org is going to be gone in 2 years. It's going to be sputtering its last words, which are going to be et tu, Brute, okay? That's not how the world works. You got to watch your allies more than you watch your enemies. And this guy, well, we'll get into it. You go back to the post. We can talk about it. But the fact that people are dying on this hill while they'll let it go with so many other people, it's just, it blows my mind. It's insane. I don't understand it.
Yeah, no, it's time. Yeah, it's time we abandon this. Some will call it left unity. I call it left agnosticism. Of being agnostic as who will be walking in the van of pushing this normalcy within the communist movement in this country. We can't be agnostic about it. Could be anyone. So let's all just get along. No, it's not going to be the weird cultists who have retreats in the woods and who are fat and have pronouns in their bio. So
historians call the people in history who were like the mealy-mouthed fence sitters? Nothing. They don't call them anything because they didn't fucking write about them because they didn't fucking matter. All right? You think fucking Alexander was afraid to take sides? You think Napoleon was going on the battlefield with a tambourine saying, why can't we be friends? No. You think Stalin, but okay, listen. Anti-communists try and rewrite this history. Here's what happened. Stalin, as soon as the Nazis took power, he was trying to gather allies on a side to fight against them. It was the fucking dickless Angloid Neville Chamberlain who went out there and was like, oh, why can't we be friends? No infighting. We're going to appease Hitler. That's what happened, okay? And you know what? Let the record show. Stalin's name today strikes fear in the heart of reactionaries everywhere, whereas Neville Chamberlain is history's bitch. The only time Neville Chamberlain ever gets brought up is when the neocons want to call some guy a bitch so they can go invade Iraq. That's when Neville Chamberlain gets brought up, and in 200 years, nobody will fucking remember him. So I'm sick of this like fence-sitting shit. Yeah, you do have to take the side. I'm sorry. It's the same thing we were talking about with Fox on the last stream. You do have to take a side because that's how the world works sometimes. Sometimes there are sides. And if you're just going to be one of these people who's like, oh, I'm not, why can't we all get, just delete your account. Just delete your account. Like, what are you doing? I mean, honestly, if you have any semblance of like infrared vision, non-Euclidean intelligence, you got any of that shit, you should already have chosen. You needed to choose a side when he dropped that ridiculous fucking apology video. That's when you needed to choose a side, okay? And the fact that people are still here today acting like this is some great ally, like why? What? This is the biggest mistake we're ever making, to call out this this opportunism of people who are just because he has their organization, they're cloud chasing this guy. This is our biggest mistake. Tell me why. Why? How are we possibly going to be hurt from coming after the CPI? Tell me. You can't. I'm sorry. Listen. The two things I want to instill with today's stream are: one, left unity is bullshit. Two, no more cults. No more cults. Okay? Because I'll tell you something. Right now, and if you think this is just like a liberal smear, you're naive. Okay? It's not. There are political cults all over the place. They're not uncommon, because if you have no power and you have no money, how are you going to get people to do what you want? Well, the cult, mind control, and brainwashing tactics. They're everywhere, okay? And the thing about these cults is they'll be real friendly to us when it's all online, right? But I'm telling you now, if we launch an org, all these people who are all friendly to us and are siphoning off, because they want to siphon off members from infrared, as soon as we're competing with them for members, instead of just offering up members on a silver platter, the tone is going to change, all right? The tone is going to change. And that's what this guy's doing. Call me Rachel Maddow if you want. We'll get into the receipts. Just, he just wants...
Well,
sorry, I told you I got
what does he want? What does he want?
Well, he doesn't want he doesn't want to make communism popular, because if he did, why is he attacking Jackson? Jackson is the most popular communist in the country right now.
Well, it's because
Jackson. Why is that?
Well, someone pointed out, yeah, it's because Jackson has only been doing this for a few years. Jackson,
Because he's jealous. It's because he's fucking jealous.
and he's
got a
already
big fucking ego and he's jealous.
Caleb has been doing this for over a decade, and already in like 2 years, Jackson is already the darling of Russia. Jackson Hinkle is the #1 American diplomat to Russia. That's why. It's because after 15 years,
he's jealous.
Caleb Maupin couldn't do it.
I'm sorry. I just don't get this mindset. I don't get this fucking crabs in a bucket mindset where people are jealous of Jackson. I see Jackson on Tim Pool, you know, hardcore defending the Soviet Union and China to 1.5 million viewers. That's based. Jackson's based. Like, if you're jealous, you care about your own fucking ego and your own fucking little weird transgender cult you got going more than you care about the movement. Okay, and it's obvious. So yeah, if he's trying to build a movement, explain why he attacked Jackson. Now, if he's trying to popularize his own ideas, let's go there. What ideas? Okay, this guy is a fucking opportunist of the highest order. Okay, first he's a Trotskyist, but he's in the Workers' World Party. He leaves the Workers' World Party. He gets hired by RT. Suddenly he's not a Trotskyist anymore. He's an ML. Then the LaRouche people start getting traction. He's got his own org. So he just takes a bunch of their fucking projects and puts them on his website. And these are CPI projects, but it's just LaRouche shit. Then, and this is the most egregious, and this is why it's really disgusting that you guys are all fucking defending him right now, is he goes on Kim Iverson's show. This is the only video he's got that's got any views other than the attack on Jackson he just posted. And he's acting like he's the fucking daddy of MAGA communism. He called his book that nobody's read the MAGA Communist Manifesto. I'm sorry, dude. When MAGA communism was going viral, where were you? You were nowhere to be found. You were in horny jail. You had nothing to do with it. And like, he doesn't mention Haas. He doesn't mention Jackson. This he's in it for himself. He's not in it for the movement. I'm sorry. Prove me wrong. Like, why are people going to die on this hill? Why? Explain to me why. I think it's just parasociality is a hell of a drug. But like, listen, guys, we're talking about launching an organization. It's time to separate the hobbyists from the communists. All right? If you just watch this shit because like you think you're friends with the streamer and you get in chat and you like get a boner when he fucking reads your super chat, this is not going to be for you. Okay? I'm interested in people who are serious about this and who recognize what's going on with this guy, which is that he's not interested in the movement. He's interested in himself. He's interested in his own organization, and that's it. That's why he attacked Jackson, because he's fucking jealous. Okay? That's why he's completely trying to co-opt the MAGA communism thing. Oh yeah, Hassan, go watch it. Go watch it. He says this is the closest to a MAGA communism manifesto. I don't know if he's read the Substack or he's just pretending it doesn't exist. But like, and it just goes one way. Because like, where is this guy's solidarity? Where is this guy's fucking left unity, no infighting? He's like clearly in it for himself, and he's got this fucking Dr. Moreau's island of misfit kids that are just gonna go along with him no matter what. We're supposed to have solidarity with this? We're supposed to have solidarity with this over, you know, everybody we've attacked in the last, it's Matt Taibbi, Jack Posobiec, Nick Fuentes, Patrick Casey, everybody, but this is the hill we gotta die on? Like, are you kidding me? And okay, you know what? I'm sorry. I don't know. If you want to cut in, Ture, cut in.
Yeah. So the glasses come off for a second just so I can read my screen. I wear you know. So yeah, and these are pretty. And none of these that I wrote up are personal attacks. These are purely on the failure of him as a professional, and pretty blatant failures. And the most recent being the video that he dropped, like we said, is purely motivated out of jealousy. And you can go and read the tweets for the full breakdown here. Purely motivated out of jealousy over Jackson Hinkle. Because if you go on his YouTube page, it's his most, it's over 5,000 views at this point, which for someone who's been YouTubing for 15 years and the most you can do is 5K, that's already a sad state of affairs. But most viewed in the past like year. And if you go back and see the last time he broke 5K, it was this cringe opening ceremony for one of his CPI events from a year ago.
Oh yeah,
so,
let's talk about that.
So of course he's going to be like manufacturing this drama in the background if he's been hemorrhaging views his entire career. He only breaks a couple of thousand when he is riding off the backs of someone else's popularity. This is not a case of people say, oh, his career really went downhill after the Medium article. What career did he have? Look throughout his YouTube video list. It's just been a flat line for 15 years. This is...
Nah. Okay, here's the thing. Let's talk about the fucking Medium article, okay? Oz said he was too mature to do the Medium. I'm not. I'm going to talk about the Medium article. Here's the thing, guys. The spanking is a total red herring. Forget about the spanking. It's silly and it's funny. That's not what's important about the Medium article. Because if he had just been getting spanked by his wife, it would have been like, oh, haha, that's funny and weird, whatever. No. Let me tell you what the point of the Medium article was that everyone forgets about. He's using his fucking organization to turn bitches out, okay? And I don't want to hear none of this shit that oh, well, it was her choice. It's, her body, her choice. Shut the fuck up. We don't do that here, okay? Nobody chooses to become a prostitute. They get deceived, they get manipulated, and they get exploited. It's called turning out, okay? And I don't want to hear that he had no involvement in that because this person joined his organization as a non-prostitute and came out as a prostitute. He's the leader of the organization. He's responsible for that, let alone that he started fucking paying them to get his rocks off. I'm sorry. Look, when this Medium article came out, a lot of people were saying what I'm saying now. And I was defending this guy. For shame, I was actually defending this guy. And I was saying, look, he's going to have some big comeback planned. And I believe in forgiveness. I believe in redemption. Let's see what happens. I'm not going to cancel him for this. It's bad, but we'll see what happens. And then the video drops, and I was expecting some leave Britney alone energy, And he's down on the docks in his finest cardigan at high noon with 3 different camera angles, and he just takes no responsibility. I'm sorry. Look, I gave him a chance. I was willing to give him a chance. It's been a year, and he's taken no responsibility. He just deflects every time. He comes after fucking Shang Yu and says, oh, Shang Yu joined the woke mob attacking me while joining the woke mob attacking Shang Yu, ironically. But listen, Shang Yu did not join the woke mob. Shang Yu took a principled stance against sexual exploitation. What do you expect? You expect you can just do anything and your allies are just, it doesn't matter. We have no principles. It's just Gryffindor versus Slytherin. Get the fuck out of here, man. What you did was fucked up. Take some goddamn responsibility, dude. And then it's Jackson's fault. Jackson joined the woke mob against me. It's just never this guy's fault. It's never his fault. And it's at this point, a year later, I'm calling it out, okay? I'm not just going to sit here and pretend everything's fine. Why would we expect he's changed? He's probably still fucking doing it, right? He's taken zero responsibility. First, he's on the docks in his cardigan, and it's society's fault. It's America's greatest secret. Then it's Shang Yu's fault. Then it's Jackson's fault. It's you have to take responsibility, and he never did. And I'm sorry. This is what I'm here to tell you. Okay? You can say I'm getting personal, and I'm not talking about his politics, and you're wrong. These are his politics. Okay? He's not a Marxist-Leninist. He's not a Trotskyist. He's not a Marxist. He is a boner socialist of the highest order. Okay? He's literally using his power in his political organization to get his fucking rocks off. What more do you want? He's a boner socialist, and the whole purport of me streaming, what I've been saying from the beginning, is that we need to stop treating as political ideologies what should be treated as sexual pathologies. And this is one of the guys. Okay? He's literally, what more do you want?
Skipping around a bit in this list, it occurs to me last night when I was writing this list that, on top of everything else, that it's no accident, and this goes true for a lot of left wing shills, but there's no accident that their primary membership is always who? Students. It's always students.
I was gonna say transgenders.
That too, who are students, primarily Zoomers, who are either in high school or in college or in grad school. They're primarily students, drug addicts, pronoun people, and fat people. But like students, which encompass all of these things, primarily because students in the United States are the most reactionary group of people in this country. Students who are the most psyopable class of people in this country. Yeah, young students who are reactionary, psyopable. They are easily manipulated, willing to do free labor for approval, flush with expendable income, and most importantly, highly sexually active. Like as a recruiting base, that is very telling. And it's, you have all of these professional protesting orgs like PSL. It's the same thing. CPI is like students and drug addicts and pronoun people and fat people, because that's just what students are.
But why? See, because Haas brought
Yeah,
this up.
so as this recruiting base for your weird sexual perversions of the leadership.
Right. He's like, that's the thing. Haas brought this up in his response, but he didn't ask why. Like, why does this guy want to have an organization of the most vulnerable, desperate, easily exploited people in the goddamn country? Like, why? You know? Why do they have no vetting process to let in just anyone? It's because desperate people are going to be loyal to him. And this is when we get into the part where, like, Jim Jones is, like, venerated among these people. The guy who took his followers down to Guyana and had them fucking massacred, and who had glowy CIA connections. What kind of communist venerates a person like that? I mean, they're obviously just into his total control that he had over his followers. Listen, I want everyone watching this, if we're going to start organizing ROL, you need to familiarize yourself with cult tactics, because it's not a joke. It's not Rachel Maddow slander. It's real, okay? There are a lot of political cults out there, and so far, I'm sorry, I'm just not ignoring it anymore. Like, I'm sick of joking about cults. I'm sick of working with cults. I'm sick of being in alignment with cults, because I've seen too many times what cults do to people. They fuck people up. They fuck people up in the head, and I don't want anything to do with it. I don't want any of these fucking Jim Jones cults to be fucking around with our organization when it launches. I don't want no Left Unity, and I don't want no Jim Jones cults. Okay, like, we got to admit that we've realized at this point that there's nobody in the online space who's friends with us. Nobody on the left, nobody on the right, they're all enemies. It's going to be the same IRL, okay? Because there are no communist organizations in this country. We're talking about launching the first one. The PSL, the CPUSA, the CPI, all these groups are just fucking political cults. They're weird, degenerate sex cults, and all they care about is getting more members. They don't care about building a real movement. They don't care about reaching the working class. They just want to get more members to, continue the cult. That's how it works, right? That's what we're looking at in this country. And I'm telling you, if you think I'm crazy, wait till we start the org. Wait how these people start treating us when we're competing rather than just letting them take our guys.
But yeah, and you know how I know, and you know how I feel. Like I've never met a CPI person in real life, but you know how I know how I'm so confident that it's all students. And yeah, and Captain Waffles confirms that I'm right. But you know how I knew? It's because CPI is and I have it. Let me pull it up here for the. But yeah, CPI was started in 2021. Like as an official organization, that's when the Twitter and the YouTube were started, the website. So as an organ, the Center for Political Innovation was started in 2021, which we all know what global event was going on in 2021. So this was essentially a project like that got started when everyone was flush with this pandemic money, when everyone had a lot more free time, was a lot more depressed and isolated, when protests were going on every other week. And this was after a decade at that point of making of trying to like launch this this stillborn career as the premier communist of the United States, takes advantage. And I was in a similar scenario with another organization, but like a lot of people were doing that around that time, and it was all students who were going out and protesting, and it was all. And it's not just groups that were calling themselves like revolutionaries. It was nonprofit organizations. It was NGOs. Like if you lived in Atlanta at the time, you had World Wildlife Foundation just on every street corner hustling people for money. And Caleb was doing the same thing, only without like major institutional backing. What this organization rapidly became was a housing scheme for him, where he would fly around the country and hop from hotel to hotel on someone else's dime, have other people pay for these hotel rooms for him, often hotel rooms where he'd be like using his to recruit people for his deviancy, but just on other people's dime, while they had to canvass to beg people for money, not just for these hotel rooms, but for their food. I don't know if you've ever done this before. Just gone, hit the concrete for 10 hours a day to canvas for. But that's Nightmare. Yeah, it's grueling, and that's people starve that way. People have to feel like they're supposed to sell their plasma. So, it was this. So it was this pipe dream of making his own think tank, which just rapidly became not even a vanity project, just a
think tank.
Think tank.
What are they thinking about over there, bro? Listen, I want to bring something. I want to further demonstrate the opportunism here. We're going to talk about the transgender issue, because we're not afraid to talk about anything here. Listen, you can go back.
Follow us on Rumble, by the way, in case we get taken down.
We are going to get taken down eventually. So yeah, follow us on Rumble. We have 3 followers. Anyway, you can go back 3 years ago and see him interviewing, I believe, Jodie Brar from the UK, talking about the transgender issue. And she lays out why, what we all know, which is obvious, that it's idealist and it's not compatible with Marxism. And he says, oh, I agree, but why can't people talk about this? Why can't people talk about this issue? Well, fast forward to today, he doesn't talk about it. Which, I mean, that would be one thing if I couldn't go on your timeline and see you talking about it. And yeah, you remember that interview? Yeah, because the leftists always bring it up to call him a TERF or a transphobe or whatever. But today, it's not that, he just won't give an opinion. He just won't give an opinion. And do I need to lay it out here? He won't give an opinion on transgenderism. He's got a lot of transgenders in CPI. He's meeting with one. I mean, if the political positions you will take are secondary to that, you're a boner socialist. You need to be purged. You're not principled at all. And yeah, I'm going below the belt. I'm going below the belt today because this motherfucker lives below the belt, and I'm coming for him where he lives. Go ahead, take it, Torre. I'm worked up, dude. Because I'm pissed that so many people are coming for us, telling us oh, this is the biggest mistake you've ever made. You can't do this. Haas said not to do. What world are you living in that all the people we've gone to war with in the last year or 2 years, but this is the guy? Just take the video at face value. Let's just take the video at face value for a moment. Yeah. And Caleb's trying to get in front, the Jackson one. Caleb's trying to get in front of something that's coming out for Jackson, right? It's what? Who? Let's just imagine it's true. Okay, Jackson has been Henry Kissinger in a skin suit this whole time. And this comes out. Nobody in the goddamn universe is going to see that story and be like, oh, you know what? We got to go get Caleb Maupin with this. Maybe we'll finally get something to stick to him. Yeah, right. I'm sorry. That's it's just disqualifying. It's just disqualifying. If he had repented, and I thought he was going to. I was fucking naive. If he had repented, that would be one thing. But the fact that he's just double, triple, quadrupled down, That's disqualifying. Say it's personal, not political, all you want. I'm sorry. If this guy gets any fucking clout, if this guy starts blowing up at all the mainstream media is just going to put that shit in neon lights, that Medium article in neon lights. And do you want to be associated with that? But this is the hill you want to die on. Like, why? Someone explain to me why. All he has is this IRL organization that does these cringe conferences and like forest retreats. Like, what? Think bigger, guys. Think bigger. We're talking about a whole damn country here. Like,
Yeah,
we cannot get bogged down in this stuff.
What
Like,
what people forget every couple of years. Like, again, I don't know why people are so afraid of splits. Like, in retrospect, like, people were so afraid of this of the 2016 split when communists were splitting with liberals. Like, after we realized that the Bernie Sanders campaign was a fraud, and then in retrospect, everyone was like, "Oh yeah, I'm glad we split." And then in 2020, 4 years later, everyone was just saying like, we still have to have like left unity, and up in arms about the split with the anarchists. But that was objectively a good thing. All the BLM rioters, the Antifa spooks, these weird anarchist elements who were bringing down like the movement. Now, again, almost 4 years later, it's like funny how these things happen around election cycles, but like people up in arms. We can't have a split. We can't have a split. But like we have to have this split between the fringe elements of the movement, all of these identitarians or Trotskyites, cultists, perverts, boner socialists. A split with them from the golden Stalinist center of people who are normal. And that's what Jackson's biggest crime was to Caleb Maupin, was being normal. Was being a young, fit, normal, hardworking man, not some fat academic neo-pronoun person. That was his biggest crime. He was normal.
I think his biggest crime was getting engaged to Miss Universe, actually. But I'm not, like, I know I've been talking a lot of shit. I'm not really trying to come at Caleb because I think it's not worth it. I mean, I'm coming for the gorillas who are being mealy-mouthed fence-sitters. A year after, you should have known this guy was no good. Because listen, this is low stakes. He doesn't have a lot of clout. He's not really going to do anything. And he's just sniping at Jackson, whatever. It's low stakes. But this mentality of like, our allies are always our allies is not low stakes. At some point, it's going to be a serious deal. And if we have these people who are like, oh, well, they were friendly to us in the past, so we have to overlook everything that's happening now, the party's going nowhere. Okay? Trust your enemies more than your allies. I mean, I don't trust Teray. You think I trust Teray? You think I'm a fucking idiot? Of course I don't.
I was just about to say the same thing about you, nigga.
I trust my mother and my father. Okay, that's it. But people, I feel like it is like it's the people who watch Haas because they think he's their friend, and it's the people who watch Haas because they think he's a fucking communist. He's not your friend. He's not my friend. He's not any of your friends. Caleb's not your friend either. None of these people are your friends. They don't even know who you are. Parasociality is a hell of a drug, though. I mean, that's the only reason I can imagine that people are leaping to the defense of this, like, nothing to be gained from allying with this organization. And it's been that way. It's been that way. But it's just like, oh, we can't be too mean. It's because you watch him. It's because you watch him on, like, these people, you're not cut out. Either get your shit together or just, go watch XQC. Go watch Aiden Ross. Because this is serious shit, okay? Politics is war. Politics is not a game. It's war. And in war, there's no rules. There's no friendships. There's no, it's dog eat dog, every man for himself. And I feel like a lot of people don't realize that's like, if you're actually going to go join this organization, and I don't know exactly what's going on with the organization, but there's enough potential energy that there's going to be an organization at some point, no matter what. If you're going to go join it, you got to know what you're walking into. You're not walking into this Gryffindor versus Slytherin game where we're all going to be friends and we're all going to go out for pizza afterwards. Like, the realities of power, the realities of political organizing are going to just knock you on your ass. And if this is too much for you, if me talking shit about Caleb is too much for you, you're just, as they say in the Bitcoin community, NGMI, not going to make it. You got to toughen up. I mean, this guy's nothing. Toss this guy aside. There's gonna be much harder shit in the future. I mean, imagine if Jackson actually was a Fed. You would have to deal with something like that in the future. I mean, I think it's bullshit, but that kind of thing happens. People you don't expect are Feds. People you don't expect betray you.
But yeah,
I mean, I wasn't expecting this goddamn Medium article to drop a year ago.
People need to understand that, yeah, it doesn't feel like, yeah, you need to get used to these kinds of struggles now, because you have to imagine where these become like truly antagonistic, as in the case, like, and this is the last point on the post here, is, you know, it seems like such a small thing, this rally against hypocrisy. I don't know if any of y'all remember that because nobody went, but it was specifically another response to Jackson Hinkle. If you remember, the Rage Against the War Machine rally, which happened in March, was like this huge event that made like all of these legacy media personalities were condemning it, and because they were, you know, these people on CNN and Rachel Maddow, all these war hawks were still like very much in the swing of like, we need to give money to Ukraine, and in response to this wildly popular event and talked about event that had Jackson Hinkle was one of the speakers at, a number of, again, Trotskyists, people who are trying to split the movement so that it remains stagnant and so that nobody gets off the ground, protested. Like, it wasn't just Jackson Hinkle, but he was one of the ones being protested against. And so the CPI just involved in this rally against hypocrisy to split the anti-war movement. Like, we are communists, goddammit. The anti-war movement, like, being against imperialism, of global imperialism, should be our number one concern. Like, being a united front should be a pretty important priority for us. And yet, it's like, it doesn't matter how much he says, like, oh no, but, you know, I made my own thing. Yeah, but we endorsed the Rage Against the War Machine, but you're also endorsing this other thing that is the most embarrassing group of twerps just holding hands that I've ever seen. Nobody talked about that event. But now there are like splits in this like anti-war movement. Like, what do you think is going to happen when Zoomers are coming out in full force to make World War III happen? Who are gonna fight and die in World War III? I don't know how many of you saw Jackson's interview on RT a couple days ago. Great interview, by the way. Again, because like, he's just a much better ambassador. He had said that Zoomers are, like, saying, quoting some polls here, that Zoomers are overwhelmingly pro-Ukraine, pro-World War III. And that's dangerous. Like, these are young men who are going to be recruited into the ranks of American Azovites and American like fascist groups. People who are, according to the news now, we're seeing, are like getting compounds and arming each other in the woods. So having a united front to condemn that trend should be your number one priority. Not the purity politic, because this is not just about you. This is more than your personal opinions. This is about whether or not America descends into what 2020 was with these blue-haired Antifa super soldiers burning down cities, but worse, a lot worse. People like Boneface McClellan coming back from Ukraine, getting armed by the CIA, running down people's streets, trying to start a race war, and now being funded, armed, and organized by government spooks when there's no more Ukraine war to fight. And if that doesn't concern you as much as having your personal feelings validated, you are a dangerous person. Because that is the type of person who would sell you out to the Azavites just to spite you. They have done so to me. They will do so to you. So you should consider that person just as much of a threat to you. Go ahead.
I shouldn't have cut these eye holes. This shit's going crazy up here. Okay. I just wanted to say a word about Jackson, because I think some people are jealous of Jackson out here. And in particular, Caleb called him arrogant. I just wanted to spell this. Like, we got to appreciate what we got with Jackson here. Like, people out here are being black-pilled, doomer-pilled. Look at Jackson. Jackson is exploding. And like, people don't realize how long it's been since there's been a communist like Jackson who was, it's been since the 60s. And whenever a communist gets brought on like mainstream media or to like talk to the country, they have to do this like disavow, like, oh, well, obviously Stalin was evil and the Soviet Union was bad, but you know, we're whatever fucking Susan Sontag said or whatever, or Hannah Arendt. Like, these are the people who represented the communist movement for decades in this country. Like,
not Susan
Jackson,
Sontag. I'm dead.
I don't know. Take your pick of the new left people. I like Jackson is like historically significant. The fact that he's getting up in front of millions and millions of, yeah, he's only 23, future president of the United States. Seriously, the fact that he's getting in front of people and like, no fucking around, no disavowing, no, that wasn't real communism. He's just getting up there, nuts hanging, and saying, yeah, the Soviet Union, China, Stalin's, like, people haven't done that in a long, this is a new thing. This hasn't happened in this country for a long time, all right? And if you're a communist, I don't give a shit what's going on in your personal life. If you're a principled communist, even if you are disagree with Jackson about everything, like the homophobia, transgender, all that stuff, you have to appreciate what he's doing right now. And anybody who's gonna, like, Jackson's the tip of the spear, okay? Anybody who's gonna turn on Jackson and what he's doing, other things are more important to them than the movement. Other things are more important to them than the working class communist movement. They care about other shit more, because if you only care about that, Jackson's unfathomably based. I mean, he's 1.5 million viewers, hardcore, you know, no apologies defense of the Soviet Union and China. Who's done that? Who's done that in the last 60 years? Tell me. It's, dude, like, Jackson is the guy right now. And he, you know, if you're against him, you're a reactionary. So I know reactionary means, you know, you don't like kids getting their dicks chopped off right now, but no, don't pull this up. Don't pull this up. But
is this really who you want to go to bat for?
Don't pull this up.
Is this really who you want to go into battle fighting American Azavites for? This?
Oh no.
All right, look me in the eye and tell me that you would go to bat for this. I don't think you would. I think you would be. I think you might be like what was it? one of those that weird video of Ukrainian witches who were like putting a spell on Putin.
Oh, I got that bookmarked. We're gonna talk about that on stream.
It's like, yeah, it's like, oh, what are you doing to stop fascism in America? I'm putting a spell. I'm putting a spell on the fascists. I've got my little book and my scented oils, and I'm putting a wicked old dispel on Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Like, and that's about the that's what I would believe you would do.
Don't buy that. That's before they go out in the woods and slaughter an infant.
Yeah.
Don't buy that. I'm just a silly girl game.
Yeah, this ain't it. This ain't it, y'all. Oh, and there's even shout out to
Okay, dude.
Shout out to Midjourney, by the way. I won't pull up anymore. Shout out to Midjourney, by the way.
We did a bunch of iterations, but look, the point, we're not. We shouldn't need to attack Caleb Maupin because he's attacked himself for the last year. People need to toughen up, okay? Allies are going to become enemies. That's how this shit works. We're not all going to the promised land together. It's not the Wizard of Oz skipping into Oz together. That's not how this shit is going to work. Allies will become enemies. People will betray you. People will sell out to the feds. That's another thing. I feel like people think when someone calls them a fed that they were like grown in a CIA lab and they've been like a fed since birth. That's not how it works, guys. How it works is the feds will come in and either blackmail someone or bribe them or both to convince them to become an informant. And often it's very difficult to say no to. And they get people who you wouldn't expect them to get.
Yeah, it does not take much.
Yeah, so that kind of thing's going to happen, guys. If we make an org, look up COINTELPRO. Read about COINTELPRO. Read about the crazy shit that happened during that. That's going to happen. So if you're not ready, just stay online. Go watch Destiny and XQC or some shit, because this is serious shit. And Caleb, like, if you're dying on the hill of Caleb, you're not cut out for this shit. That's what it is.
But there you have it, folks. Clip it, wrap it up, put a bow on it. You know, we are reaching the hour mark of our stream here, of our declaration of war. And pretty much after this stream, obviously, if anyone comes into our chat to take pot shots at us, we will respond in kind. But this is, we got to keep it principled. We've made our peace. And we got, and we got to move forward. Yeah, as I guess Screws in the Bell says in the chat. Yeah, if things ain't changing, you're doing it wrong. We can't be bogged down in these petty squabbles. We have an information war to win. We have an organization to pull together. We have a country that needs to be pulled back from the brink of disaster, a deepening of the century of humiliation that I want to see us get out of. So thank you for tuning into the Barracks. I obviously, if you haven't liked the video already, whether you're on X or you're on YouTube, you should like the video. We didn't have we bounced around a bit, but we didn't have anything else on the docket for takedowns.
I mean, I wanted to just bitch for an hour, and I did.
Yeah, that hour went by fast, huh?
I think we'll be talking about Armenia tomorrow, so we'll be back on the normal grind. So we had to call this out because it doesn't seem like gorillas right now. It's like little spider monkeys crawling on my back, rubbing shit in my eyes. That's what's going on right now. Yeah, the best like gorillas out there, okay? Gorillas will tear your ass apart if you cross them. Come on.
Yeah, the best place for updates about the topics we'll be discussing on stream on any given day is on the Telegram, because Telegram is an amazing tool for collecting intel and just chatter from around the world. So follow us on Telegram. Because you never know when we're going to get taken off of X.com. You never know when. Because Jackson recently got his video taken down, him visiting the memorial for Yevgeny Prigozhin. So they'll look for any excuse to take you down. You never know when we're going to get taken down off of YouTube or X. Follow us on Telegram. And we made it to 20 people on this stream. We getting bigger and better every day. When it goes to show you, when you leave the agnostics behind, the weird fringe groups who are, who just want to hold hands, get along, and who aren't actually down to get any work done because they're looking for friends to tell them that their weird anime PFP is who they really are on the inside. When you ditch those people, like, you can get a lot more done.
Yeah, you have to take a side. You have to take a side. Men take sides. All right. We don't want this indecisive bullshit.
Oh,
you just
yeah,
want to stay the same. You want to stay in the womb, and you want to just be a slave to inertia, and nothing ever changes.
That was
Not how the world works.
that was something that we came to agreement on, wasn't it? That this kumbaya mentality is like a feminine impulse, isn't it? And people,
We're trying not to do that.
I'll take responsibility for it.
All right.
Because yes, I am a virulent sexist personally. This does not reflect the views or opinions of the Barracks as a brand. Me personally, I am very sexist, yes. And this so when you see, when you have the women in your life telling you to just like get along and stop starting fights with people, that's where a lot of this energy comes from. So heterosexuals can also be boner socialists. And because that's like a super majority of the population are the most boner socialist. Like, don't be blunting the number one tool in our arsenal, which is criticism and struggle. Like, this is don't be everyone's mom. All right,
Struggle.
Be a man.
The party line is forged in fire. It's not some porcelain doll that got gifted to you from on high that you have to protect with all your buddies from any criticism. No, I'm coming in, I'm taking your porcelain doll and I'm throwing it on the floor. How about that? All right? We're done with this shit. If you can't defend your shit, if you can't stand up to people criticizing you, you don't belong here. And that goes, that goes for us, that goes for everybody. So, as I said at the beginning, if you're mad about this stream, don't fucking take it to Haas. Don't try and snitch on us or something. Come at us. We can defend ourselves.
Yeah, we don't go into DMs, just complain and just backbiting and just think, oh, this person hurt my feelings, and I just had to vent to you real quick. Like, no, if I got something to say to you, like, I will say it to you. If y'all watched our debate with Fox Green the other day, I went in a little bit harder than I should have.
You got a little hot.
I got a little hot against Fox Green and the LaRouches. But when the camera's off, I'll be amicable to the guy because he never attacked us personally. He just has again, we have strong opinions, so I'll just say them to your face. And it's up to you to be man enough to listen to the truth and to accept criticisms when they come your way. Like, I can't be responsible, nor can people who are trying to and trying to lead this country, like Jackson Hinkle. Jackson Hinkle can't be responsible for your feelings. You have to be responsible for those things. So, like, start getting used to this public and principled, sometimes unprincipled. You can't control that.
Like, if we're being unprincipled, defend Caleb without just screaming about infighting. Good fucking luck.
Because this unity, like, with no strings attached, is holding us back. Yes, the Barracks is rising. Follow us on x.com at the Barracks Live. We appreciate y'all.
I don't know about this look. I think I'm going to change the look, but
the beanie was a good last-minute addition. Not gonna lie.
It kind of looked like Arnold Schwarzenegger in Batman and Robin. I don't know. You guys might be too young for that one.
You look like a crash test dummy moved to Greenwich Village.
All right. Well, this is just the first day.
You look like wait, hang on. You look like a member of Slipknot is joining an underground rap battle. So you look like
yeah.
You look like
Got nothing.
you look
Porcelain, beautiful skin. All right, this is getting weird. Let's let's wrap it up. We just wanted to rant about that. We'll be back to normal news sort of content tomorrow. Shout out Fox Green, by the way. He did come in to defend himself. Good for him. You know, he's not one of the people we're talking about. He's got what it takes to actually come in and do trial by fire. So shout out Fox Green.
Trial by fire. He walked into the crucible.
Yeah.
We walked out stronger. So with that, we appreciate y'all for tuning in this long. Make sure to share the video everywhere so that we don't have to bring this up ever again. So that it's done. We made our peace. And we appreciate y'all for tuning in. And we won't keep you here any longer. We know y'all got y'all got stuff to do. And with that, folks, that's all we got. 07's in the chat. The Milkman can 07 now. He's on camera.
Yeah, it's not just you alone anymore.
That's all we got, folks. We're out.